What's up, y'all? It's Thursday. I hope everybody out there is happy and healthy. So let's go ahead and get down on this video. And the first thing I want to start off talking about is Jay-Z, because Jay-Z seems to always show up when we're boycotting something, right? And in this case, we're talking about Target, because most of us felt the need to boycott Target based off of the fact that they rolled back their DEI. And this is before Jamal Bryant jumped in front of it, like he led all of us to the conclusion that we needed to boycott Target, right? Most of us had common sense to say, yo, we're just going to leave them on red right now, correct?
Exactly.
So it's just been brought to the forefront that Jay-Z is partnering with Target to exclusively release a 30th anniversary collector's edition of his debut album, Reasonable Doubt. And this is set to be released on June 26th. Now, the release will feature a white vinyl, exclusive artwork, and collectible inserts. And the price tag for it will be $40. Now, of course, this revelation has sparked a conversation about Jay-Z showing up at the most opportune time to line his pockets up, because this is what he does. It seems as though with the Colin Kaepernick situation, he inserted himself and said that it's time to stop kneeling, or we're done with kneeling. And now here he is partnering with Target when we're standing on business, most of us, not all of us, to let them know that what they did was effed up. Now, when you're married, you're considered a unit. You're considered to be together as one. And so in my estimation, when I look at Beyonce, she's definitely complicit in all of this. And as a matter of fact, when I take into account aesthetically Beyonce's rollout for her Cowboy Carter album, I was like,
oh, look at her. Okay.
Sitting up there decked out in all of that red, white, and blue. Listen, I have some fire polo shirts that I got from New York that are sitting in the closet with the tag on it that I haven't worn yet because it has the American flag on it, and I just don't feel that the American flag represents every demographic in America, right? Maybe Beyonce doesn't feel that way, right? She has that complete right to feel how she feels. I know she's from Texas. She had a dream to do a country album, but I just felt like it was insensitive to all of the atrocities and all of the things that we faced over the past 10 years to come out with this album doused in red, white, and blue.
You see, the flag is drenched with our blood.
Jay-Z is never beating the sellout allegations. He has consistently shown us that he prefers profit over principle. Now, in case you don't know what's going on, Jay-Z is celebrating the 30-year anniversary of Reasonable Doubt, and in doing so, he has partnered with Target to release an exclusive unreleased album with Target and Target only. The problem with that is that the Black community is currently and has been boycotting Target for more than a year now. And this really isn't some small boycott. This boycott has cost Target billions of dollars in yearly revenue. And in the midst of that, what does Jay-Z do? What he has always done: sells us out in order to make a buck. And I don't want you to think I'm lying, and I don't want you to think that I'm overreacting here. So let's run down all the times that Jay-Z has sold out his own community. First of all, there was the whole backdooring of Dame Dash to get Rockefeller. Yeah, that. Then there was the Colin Kaepernick situation. We all witnessed Colin Kaepernick lose his job in the NFL because he decided to protest police brutality by kneeling at the games. While we're all protesting Colin Kaepernick getting fired from the NFL, Jay-Z steps in and says the time for kneeling is over. We need to move forward. Whatever. Okay, let's move forward. What initiatives are the NFL and Jay-Z going to put in place in order to address the original cause of Colin Kaepernick's protests? We're all thinking, okay, maybe they'll put $100 million behind body cams for all police officers throughout the United States. Or maybe they'll put $100 million into a legal fund for victims of police brutality. Instead, we got to see him curate the halftime show at the Super Bowl. Instead of victim advocacy, we got Rihanna, Usher, Kendrick Lamar, and let's not forget about the Barclays Center. Okay, while Brooklyn residents are protesting and boycotting the building of the Barclays Center in Brooklyn because they felt like it would severely harm and hurt small business owners and residents that lived in the area, what do? The Brooklyn Nets call up Jay-Z and get him to be the face of ownership for the Brooklyn Nets, a familiar face at that. Jay-Z was born and raised in Brooklyn. So he gets the Black community, the Brooklyn community, on board with building the Barclays Center. And what happens? He dips. with his less than 1% ownership of the team. Allegedly it was less than 1% ownership. He dips, and multiple small businesses end up having to shut down. Multiple residents are displaced and lose their homes, and Brooklyn ultimately ends up being gentrified. Now, I would love to sit here and say that I'm surprised by all of this. I would love for this to just be some big coincidence, but honestly, I'm not surprised, because I remember something that I read in the Epstein files, this email where Jess Staley basically says the reason why the black people are not out in the streets protesting and taking back their power like they should be is because we have Jay-Z on our side. Jay-Z is the guy that they call when they need to whip the black people back into shape. Jay-Z has shown us time and time again that he cares more about lining his own pockets than empowering his own people.
You know, we have to give it up to Dame. Dame has his faults. He can get a bit irritating at times as well by talking about Jay-Z so often. But now I understand why he just can't stop talking about Jay-Z, because he was done dirty. And the reason why he was done dirty is because he was backdoored. And that is what Jay-Z is doing to the whole entire black community. He could care less about the overall struggle that some of us face on a day-to-day basis. He's an egotistical scumbag. This is a person that said that, you know, he wouldn't even loan his family member $3,800 to start a business. You know what I'm saying? He's all for himself. But anyway, I'm not buying his album, so doesn't bother me to say the least, but I just had to point out, you know, Jay-Z and how he moves. This is a very shady dude. And at the end of the day, we have to come to the conclusion that Jay-Z and Beyonce and a lot of people in their position are just paid oppositions to keep us in line, you know, to crack that whip when we get out of line, basically. You know, they call on Jay-Z, it seems as though. He's one of the prominent black entertainers that they call on to be the face of trying to, I guess, mend the situation between black folks and these corporations that we're protesting against. But anyway, I want to move on to a very serious topic. Now, most of you all saw me post a news clip on YouTube Shorts as it pertains to this story, and it's about Cohen Wiley, who lost his life this past Sunday at the age of 1 year old at a Walmart. Apparently, the mother and another girl was suspected of shoplifting, and the cops claimed that when they responded to the call, the alleged perpetrators tried to flee the scene with their car almost hitting them, which caused the officer to discharge his weapon inside of the vehicle, striking the youngin. Now, this horrific incident took place in Senatobia, Mississippi, and the officer that was involved has been placed on leave. Now, what I want to do right now is play you a portion of that news clip, and I want to play you what the mother had to say because she finally spoke out.
We don't really know anything. We don't know why it happened or whatever. All we know is that a car was shot up and a 1 year old baby was killed.
A family is heartbroken after 1-year-old Cohen Wiley was shot and killed during an officer-involved shooting at the Walmart on US 51 Sunday afternoon. According to NBI investigators, the incident involved Senatobia police officers and the Tate County Sheriff's Office. The NBI says law enforcement officers were responding to a shoplifting call. When officers arrived, they, quote, encountered 2 subjects and a juvenile child fleeing the store. Police say when they attempted to stop the vehicle, the driver drove in the direction of the officers, almost striking one. That's when an officer, quote, discharged their weapon before the vehicle fled at the scene.
It didn't have to happen this way. It could have been handled differently.
LaCole Wiley, a relative of those involved in the incident, says she doesn't understand how a shoplifting call could lead to a child being shot and a woman in critical condition that she believes was over diapers.
Senatobia, Mississippi policeman shot, open fire in a public setting over allegedly some pampers.
Marcus Keith.
Valicia Wiley lost her son to the negligence of law enforcement in Senatobia, Mississippi. Can you please tell what happened?
It was me, my son, and another friend of mine was at Walmart. As we was leaving out the Walmart, they tried to stop her, but I kept walking because it had nothing to do with me. By the time me and my baby got in the car, she came, and then when we was backing up, they was running out the come. I raised my baby up because they withdraw their gun. She had no tent. I raised my baby up trying to show them that he was in the car. So she was backing up and she hit a car as I was opening the door, so the door flew back in. By the time I sat my baby down, it was like 3 to 4 shots. One of the shots hit him in his rib cage, and the other shots hit her in her arm and her thigh. And we left and went to Senatobia hospital where he was pronounced dead. And they told me I wasn't gonna be able to see him until he get back from Jackson. She got airlifted, and the police told me I couldn't leave out the hospital until somewhere I couldn't leave out, couldn't nobody come in. But I ended up walking out, and the crowd was questioning them, asking them what happened. They was like, she was shoplifting. But the passenger, it was me. They wasn't talking about me, they was talking about the driver. But on the little what's it called, self-checkout, they can see, it's cameras, they can see when she got the diapers and walked out. But yeah, they tried to say that she forcefully was trying to drive and hit them, but they was all on the right side and she was driving towards the left. They just personally just shot in the car.
Did they try to charge you with anything?
No, they didn't charge me. They ain't charged me with nothing. They just let me go. And they didn't say nothing. They just kept telling the crowd that they was shoplifting. But I don't know if they found anything, because it's nothing to find.
Okay.
New video, photos, and Cohen's own mother are completely destroying the police narrative surrounding his killing. Now, as his been identified and placed on administrative leave, officers are literally standing guard outside Walmart, tear gassing the community. Let's get into it. So Cohen's mom, Valencia Wiley, says her son, her friend, and her were just simply shopping and then leaving the Walmart when police tried to stop them. Now, she kept walking, she said, because it had something to do with her friend, not her, and then she got into the car with her baby. And as they were backing up, trying to drive away, officers approached and drew their guns. Now, Valencia said she lifted her son up to show them that there was a baby in the car.
They withdraw their gun. She had no tent. I raised my baby up trying to show them that he was in the car. So she was backing up and she hit a car as I was opening the door, so the door flew back in. By the time I sat my baby down, it was like 3 to 4 shots. One of the shots hit him in his rib cage, and the other shots hit her in her arm and her thigh. And we left and went to Senatobia hospital where he was pronounced dead.
Now, according to Valencia, police told her that she couldn't leave the hospital, and they kept telling the crowd that she and her friend were shoplifting, though it's unclear if the police even found anything. She also mentions that the self-checkout cameras will show that her friend paid for the diapers. Now, Valencia has not been charged with anything. Now, here's where the police story falls apart even more. Bystander footage shows the car driving away from officers, not toward them, and a photo of the vehicle shows multiple bullet holes in the passenger side window where Cohen was sitting in his mother's arms. One photo even shows a bullet hole in the windshield. Now, the police claim that the driver drove in the direction of the officers, almost striking one, but Cohen's mom says officers were on the right and her friend was driving toward the left. Even the Mississippi Department of Public Safety's own statement appears to acknowledge that officers saw the baby in the car before he even got in there and before the shots were fired. Now, concerned community members have identified the officer as Sergeant Hunter Foster, who has been with the police department for just over a year. Now, he appears to have previously worked for the DeSoto Police Department, where county residents have lodged complaints about his behavior and just how he was as an officer. Now, a photo circulating online is purportedly of Foster, though that remains unconfirmed. And when I checked his LinkedIn, the profile was set to private. Now, he is currently on administrative leave for the shooting, and the community is demanding answers, and they've organized vigils and protests at the Walmart where the baby died. And how are the police responding to their demands for transparency? By standing guard outside that same Walmart, decked out in full riot gear while they tear gas the community.
All right, so you guys just saw all of that, and I'm not going to give some long, drawn-out soliloquy statement of how I feel about this situation, because, of course, I feel terrible, and this is so unfortunate. The mom said that she had a receipt and everything was paid for, but I'm just going to say this. When things like this happen to our community, I'm so sick of us protesting, talking about no justice, no peace. It's not getting us nowhere. It's not. It may have worked years before, but it's not working now. And honestly, I feel that we just look weak out there. We look stupid, actually. And if that offends someone, hey, it is what it is. I'm just telling you my true thoughts, giving you the rough, rugged, and raw truth about how I feel about this situation. You know what I'm saying? We just look weak. We look timid. That's all they expect us to do, is just march. And no justice, no peace. I mean, it's just tiresome. But anyway, I'm gonna leave that right there. Have a beautiful day.